Both of these teams played one game each. Jaurez, they won that game yesterday against, who did they play? They played Wasatch. So Jaurez took the win over Wasatch yesterday. Arizona Rising played Treasure Valley. Treasure Valley came out on top of that matchup. So we are going to see right now. Now both teams lined up. Looks like we're just waiting for that first 5-second call.
They're working on the overlays out here. Oh, somebody got that right here. I'm trying to figure out how to get just their microphones. Yeah. Because it's picking up everything.
Looks like having a quick official discussion. So Cactus on the track, making that first turn. Jam 1 of our final day for the Cactus Cup.
Guessing the air conditioner.
Some great defense, but Princess Leia is getting some momentum. Both of our packs moving up towards the pivot line. All right, and it was ammunition running up to give some offensive help, but Princess Leia does get the run back, and that is Nine with the lead for our first jam. Princess Leia gets out about a half track behind, star in hand, as Arizona works to reconnect for some defense. Ends up calling the jam, scoring 2 points, keeping Arizona scoreless. So that is 2-0 for our first jam in favor of Jaurez.
All right. Y vamos ahorita con el próximo jam. Ese sería jam número 2. Esa caja de penales de Lookout Publications tiene un solo blocker. Beethoven tiene la estrella para Jaurez. Jaws Breaker para Arizona Roller Derby. Y se cayeron varias personas ahí en el turno 1 y Beethoven estaba agarrado para el tripod de Anna Rose con Squeezer y Raging Bajan, y en ese momento Jaws Breaker salió y tiene lead. Jaws está regresando para buscar los puntos, pero Beethoven todavía no ha salido del pack, está intentando, pero en ese momento había un penal de multiplayer Y con eso Beethoven ha salido. Jazz agarró sus 4 puntos. Entonces ahora estamos en 4-2 después de menos de 3 minutos. So little less than 3 minutes into this game, and we got a 4-2 score.
And our first lead change. All right, heading into Jam 3, we have Kiwi wearing the star for Arizona Rising, jamming against April Drenalina for Jaurez. April Drenalina is getting some good momentum at the top of the apex, pushing against Captain Zombie Cat, who does try to get the hit out, but April Drenalina is able to get by, and that is lead in favor of Jaurez. Arizona does lose a blocker to the box as the pivot is released. So we have one skater in our Lookout Publications penalty box as Kiwi looks to complete that initial scoring pass. And there is the pass over to Anna Rose. So Anna Rose is now Arizona Rising's jammer as April Drenalina is continuing to do laps on their scoring pass. And finding some opening on the inside, April Drenalina picks up another 4 points in favor of Jaurez. Arizona does now have a full blocker pack on the track. There we go. And Anna Rose does complete that initial pass, is now eligible to score.
So score is 12-4. Juarez, a 10-point jam. They're in jam number 3. And our team is working on the scoreboard layover. So thanks for your patience, everybody in the chat. We'll keep you updated on the points. One last point was just added. That was actually an 11-point jam. So, para empezar, eso es Gail Satan, que tiene la estrella para Arizona y también tiene lead. Y Satan está pasando una más para ganar los puntos. Se agarró sus puntos y dijo que ya, porque para que Lady Evil no gana puntos. Entonces era un jam de 4-0, a 4-0 jam in favor of Arizona Roller Derby. AZRD chipping away at that. Juarez leads, score 13-8. And we've seen a lot of Derby, and we just barely hit the 5-minute mark.
Yeah, I think this is definitely going to be a tight game. Like, both of these teams have some heavy defense, as we see Axel taking the track for Arizona Rising wearing the star, jamming against Nine for Juarez. Some really slow moving packs there, lots of heavy defense happening. Do hear a call. We did lose Axel to the penalty box, so that is going to be lead and a power jam in favor of Juarez. All right, and Arizona Rising blockers look able to hit Nine to the outside, so she decides to call that jam, icing Axel in the penalty box and giving Juarez another Brick Road Coffee power jam. Was able to pick up 1 point in that last jam, so that's going to bring our score to 14-8 in favor of Jaurez.
Y listo para empezar jam número 6. Axel está empezando del Lookout Publications caja de penales. Ay, pero vamos a ver un cambio porque Beethoven recibió un penal por cortando la pista. Entonces, Axel siga empujando, tiene chance para ganar unos puntos aquí, uno para pasar. Eso era un golpe fuerte de Caruca. Y Axel tiene lead. Axel está intentando de pasar otra vez. Y en ese mismo momento ha regresado Beethoven. Y Axel dijo que ya eso es suficiente y terminó el jam. Vamos a ver cuántos puntos se ganó. 3. Entonces ahora estamos en 14-11 a favor de Jaurez. Tenemos 22 minutos que se quedan en la primera mitad. So 22 minutes left here a little less than 22 minutes left in the first half. Score 14-11 in favor of Jaurez.
All right, heading into our next jam, we're once again seeing Princess Leia and April Janelina wearing the jammer covers for their teams. Princess Leia getting some great momentum, and that is lead for Arizona Rising. Arizona doing a great job of chipping away at this early lead that Jaurez was able to gather, and sneaking through on the inside line, and a quick hit to the outside by that was Hades, number 99, who does pick up a penalty and is headed over to the Lookout Publications penalty box as April Janelina looks to complete that initial pass, but does pick up a cut track penalty. So this is going to be another Brick Road Coffee power jam, but this time in favor of Arizona Rising. Some beautiful offense by Rising blockers allows Princess Leia to pick up 4 more points, and we do have another lead change with Arizona doing a great job of taking advantage of this power jam. Right at the end there, Arizona did lose Sid Vicious to the Lookout Publications penalty box. So Arizona will have a power start going into the next jam, but we'll have 1 blocker down.
Every hit gets called, every story gets told. Lookout is Arizona's LGBTQ plus newsroom, and this weekend they own the penalty box. Find them at lookoutnews.org. Jaws Breaker tiene la estrella para Arizona Roller Derby. April Adrenalina para Jaurez. April Adrenalina regresando de la caja de penales. Jaws está en el frente. Ay, casi al lado, o casi se fue para adentro, pero no, se quedó. Y April Adrenalina se encontró un espacio, pero muy bien hecho los 2 blockers que estaban ahí, Babe Tobin y Raging Bajan, para pararla para tanta gente, para tanto tiempo. April Adrenalina haciendo un paso de puntos, se fue para afuera y se regresó para adentro, encontró ese paso vacío, entonces fácilmente agarró 4 puntos. Regresando a pack, están allí al lado de Night Owl Jam Line. 4 puntos más para April Janelina y Jaurez. Estamos con los puntos empatados, pero eso va a cambiar con los 4 puntos que se ganó April Janelina en este momento. Entonces hemos tenido un lead change. It's a lead change. Un cambio de lead. Y hay April Janelina. Un penal se va a Lookout Publications, caja de penales por cortando la pista. Y Jaws Breaker va a recibir 4 puntos. Y ya se terminó el jam después de 2 minutos fuertes, un batalla y hemos quedado con un score. Ay, casi, yo pensé que va a ser empatado, pero no, por 1 punto Juárez está ganando. For a minute, Punky, I thought we were going to go into the next jam with a tie score, but a sneaky little point at the end puts Juárez ahead by 1.
That's what I was thinking too, but Arizona does have another Brick Road Coffee Power Jam starting this jam with Kiwi wearing the star for Arizona. Kiwi does unfortunately pick up a cut track penalty, so that is going to send April Dronelina back to the track. I believe this is her 3rd jam wearing the star for Juarez. Let's see if she can pick up lead and put some more points on. And then some quick work to recover from the hit to the inside and a beautiful whip from a teammate, but wasn't quite sure she had clearance, so goes back to do it correctly and stay out of that box. All right, we do have Kiwi back on the track for Arizona Rising. Star in hand, now scoring eligible as Juarez did lose 1 blocker to our Lookout Publications penalty box. Quick call off there to hold Arizona. Oh, not scoreless at all. 3-2, 3 to Juarez, 2 to Arizona. Still 2 points separating our teams. 30 in favor of Juarez Roller Derby and 28 for Arizona Rising.
9 jams in and fairly evenly split on leads. Juarez has gotten lead 5 times. Arizona Roller Derby has gotten lead 4 times, and we can see the result of that with such a close score. So Juarez ha tenido lead 5 veces y Arizona Roller Derby 4, pero ay, casi fue de 5, pero sí es de 5. Veo que han dicho que Gail Satan tiene lead, so 5-5 por lead. Y Gail Satan estaba empujado de afuera, tiene que regresar y intentar de nuevo. Lady Evil con la gorra en su mano ha salido del pack y Lady Evil está más arriba de Satan, entonces en ese momento Satan va a terminar el jam, entonces 0-0 in jam número 10, so a 0-0 jam here in jam number 10. That is the first 0-0 jam we have had in this game.
All right, and we have Princess Leia once again wearing the star for Arizona Rising, jamming against Nina for Juarez. I feel like this whole game we've had just like such intense defense on these jam starts. Leia trying to get a little offensive help from Zombie Cat, but is hit to the inside, so has to recycle, just as Nina is hit to the outside and drawn back by Ammunition for Rising. Juarez does lose one of their blockers to the Lookout Publications penalty box, as we are still fighting for a lead jammer in this jam. This is just some slow grind derby happening right now as Arizona is able to hit Nina to the outside line. And there is Princess Leia picking up lead, finding space on the inside. And some quick offense by Zombie Cat that allows Princess Leia to pick up 4 points, as Nina is still fighting to complete that initial, does complete a pass, and now Juarez has Jess wearing the star. That's going to be 8 points in favor of Arizona, and 8-0 jam, bringing our score to 36 Arizona, 30 Juarez Roller Derby.
Come for the pizza, stay for the fun. Night Owl Pizza and drinks. Kick back on our spacious patio while the weather's prime. Open daily at 11 a.m. Roll until midnight on weeknights and 1 a.m. Fridays and Saturdays. Find out more at nightowlaz.com. We do have a timeout being called by Jaurez as we have had another lead change. It's a lead change. So a good time to take a pause. Think about what's been going well all weekend. Maybe like calm the adrenaline a bit. Make sure we're getting back to our tight packs. I think Arizona Jammers are maybe getting out a little more quickly than they would like if you're Jaurez. Brick Road Coffee was built to be a welcoming space where everyone can show up exactly as they are and feel like they belong. From drag brunches and community meetups to chill co-working and comfy creative space, Brick Road is a home base for connection, kindness, and community, serving great coffee while building community brick by brick. Thank you to our Power Jam sponsor, Brick Road Coffee. All right, y hemos empezado de nuevo. No hay nadie en el Lookout Publications caja de penales, pero es Jaws Breaker saliendo rápido, rompiendo a todo para salir. Tiene lead. Y Beethoven ha pasado la estrella ahora. Hades está jammer para Jaurez. Hades ha salido del pack, está regresando mientras Jaws está intentando de pasar todos los blockers y sí se hizo 4 puntos para Jaws Breaker. Esos son 3 leads enseguida. Arizona's had 3 leads in a row, taking that score 40-30 in favor of Arizona.
All right, Jaurez does have the pack advantage going into this jam. All their blockers on the pack, but Kiwi still finds an opening and able to pick up lead for Arizona Rising, but does call it off because Little Evil was just so close behind. So we're going to keep that as a 0-0 jam. Score is still 30 Jaurez, 40 to Arizona, heading into jam, I think 12. I don't know, actually. I lost count. I can't see it current. 14. I was close.
All right, y ha empezado jam número 14. Gail Satan tiene la 3 para Arizona Roller Derby y April Adrenalina para Jaurez. Y es Gail Satan saliendo primero. Y ahora April Adrenalina también está fuera de pack, regresando para buscar los puntos. Vamos a ver qué pasa aquí. Gail Satan moviendo para todos lados, intentando de ganar los puntos. Y creo que lo que pasó es que Gail Satan empezó a terminar el jam, pero allí al final también se recibió un penal. Dijeron que se cortó la pista, entonces vamos a ver un Brick Road Coffee Power Jam aquí en jam número 15.
All right, we have Lady Evil wearing the star for Jaurez. Definitely a hard pack, but able to find some opening on the outside line, and that is lead for Jaurez during this Brick Road Coffee Power Jam. This is Jaurez's first lead in the last after 5 jams, so definitely a momentum shift they are in need of. But Arizona blockers, Ammunition, and 2x4 doing a great job of slowing down that momentum and giving enough time for Phoenix and Zombie Cat to reform and Gail Satan is now out of the box and back on the track as well. Very tight scrum happening at the pivot line with Gail Satan again being run back all the way to the Night Owl jam line. Just trying to complete that initial pass and put some points on the board for Arizona. All right, and after being hit to the inside, that is a call off for Jaurez, able to pick up 4 points. So we now have a score of 34 Jaurez, 42 Arizona.
Gracias a todos que están viendo en el chat. Si nos dice de dónde son, vamos a decirlo a todo el mundo. Ahorita vemos a Nine y yo sé que hay muchos allí en el chat que se apoyan a Nine. Nine tiene la estrella, Axel tiene la estrella para Arizona Roller Derby Rising y Axel ha salido primero. Axel tiene lead. Nine buscando una ayuda de una compañera ahí en la pista y sí se lo recibió. Había espacio para afuera y se pasó. Nine regresando, pero el pack está moviendo rápido. Tengo una idea que quizás están intentando de esperar hasta que sale un blocker que todavía está en la caja de penales. So, eso es como un correo. Están haciendo ejercicios ahí. Teams out there just doing some laps just for funsies, right?
Yep, some great strategy by Arizona. Great communication happening. Axel looking to clear the box and start this next jam with all the players on the track. So that was a quick 4 picked up by Arizona. And we're going to start this next jam. Everybody on the track, full packs, 2 jammers. Both of our jammers, we have Princess Leia wearing the star for Arizona Roller Derby, but that's Beethoven picking up a lead for Jaurez. Great footwork there, finding an opening on the inside. Beethoven also trying to take that lane, but is hit out as well, so decides to call it off and waiting. Look, Arizona is calling an official review, so we will report back in a moment what that is.
Okay, bye.
Thank you to Punky Pie for making that run down there. Gonna get the deets on what is up with the official review. Again, this is requested by Arizona Roller Derby. So Arizona Roller Derby ha dicho que quieren un repaso oficial. Veo a su entrenador Riot diciendo lo que piensan y de lo que quieren que los oficiales consideran. So the officials are now considering Riot's request. Coach Riot of Arizona Roller Derby. We will know soon what is up. And here comes Punky coming back. Punky knows what's happening, does not yet know the result, but at least we can share that part. And then we'll figure out the result from what happens on the scoreboard or just from any context clues that we may get from faces or from people going to the penalty box or from score changes.
Okay. Right. Happy intel. All right, so our officials are still deliberating, but Arizona is requesting a back block penalty on the jammer from the last jam, saying that it had an impact on their blocker on the inside. And so we'll see what the ref crew has to say.
All right. Well, I will look forward to seeing that. If we see the jammer go to the penalty box, that will be our clue of what has happened. Also, if there is a positive sign there on the Arizona Roller Derby little square where the official review is blinking, and it does look like that has turned to a positive, has it?
No, but Spike is saying, yeah, it is. Yep.
It's a distance from me, so my... Oh, and I do see a jammer in the penalty box. Look at all those clues we picked up together. It's almost like Blues clues, except Derby clues, right? Oh, man. I'm so excited for myself right now. I don't know about anybody else, but...
I mean, it is always exciting when a team gets their official review and it works.
That's so true. It's a rarity, so we get excited. Hi, Johnny Pepper. Thanks for joining us this morning. Hemos empezado, eso es jam número 18 y todavía tenemos como 6 minutos en la primera mitad de ese juego. Sí, es un Brick Road Coffee Power Jam. Jaws Breaker rompiendo todos los espacios, pero estaba empujado para afuera por la fuerza de los blockers de Juárez. Eso era mala con otra persona fuerte. Y Jaws tiene que empezar de nuevo. Muy bien hecho los bloqueadores de Juárez que usaron todo el tiempo del Power Jam. Y ahora Beethoven está en la pista y ha salido del pack. Entonces está regresando para buscar los puntos. Y los entrenadores de Arizona diciendo que llámalo, terminar eso antes que se llegue para los puntos. Y ninguno de los dos se ganó un punto. So a 0-0 jam there.
I mean, that is always a bummer moment as a jammer when you are hit out right as you get lean. And Jaws did a great job of playing it safe, making sure to not pick up a penalty and keeping everybody scoreless. So we'll see what happens in this next jam. We have Kiwi wearing the star for Arizona and April Adrenalina for Jaurez. Do hear some whistles to indicate a penalty. It looks like Jaurez is losing one of their blockers to the Lookout Publications penalty box. Just barely made it up to the pivot line for both of our packs. But 30 seconds in and still no lead. These blockers have been doing some amazing defense, really holding it down. Only 4 minutes left in this half, and neither team has broken 50 at this point. So a testament to how defensive this game is. We do have Zombie Cat trying to give a little offensive help to Kiwi. Love a shirt whip. And unfortunately, Kiwi is hit to the outside as April Jonalina seems to be picking up some momentum. But Sunny Ono does successfully hit her to the inside, allowing Arizona to reform. And again, we have 40 seconds. No lead jam. No one is scoring eligible currently. All right, and that was with about 30 seconds to go. We have someone picking up a penalty. Still no lead. And there it is. 10 seconds left in this jam. Kiwi is our lead jammer. We do have a Juarez skater in the penalty box.
I think that's the jammer.
Yeah, it is. They're sitting in the jammer chair.
Yeah. So I don't know about anybody else, but I feel like if you go a minute and 50 seconds and get lead, you should automatically get at least 1 point.
Right, a little bonus point as a treat.
Just one, yeah. So
All right, and we have an official review for Jaurez.
let me know, what do you think about that in the chat, or friends here who are close with me? If it takes you a minute and 50 seconds to establish a lead jammer, and there's not quite enough time to get all the way back around to get any points the traditional way, I believe that you should automatically get 1 point. That's my hot take of the day. Let me know what your thoughts are on my hot take of the day, especially when we look back at the last 3 jams and see that there have been 0 points scored by either team. That's right, Johnny Pepper. I agree. Hard work should be rewarded. I mean, come on, a minute and 50 seconds to get lead? Man, Kiwi, so proud of you. Staying in there strong, getting all the way out. And great job by the blockers on both sides, right? Like Juarez really digging in and keeping Kiwi from getting out of the pack. Scar Trek is right. In this game, defense is winning. If we were giving points for defense, now I'm like, oh, we should go back, and every jam that was only had 4 points scored, 0 points, we should put 4 points for defense and see what our score would be. I mean, if we keep having official reviews, we might have time for those kinds of mathing shenanigans. Oh, except Colonel Angus, our producer here, said mathing sucks, so maybe not.
All right, it looks like the deliberation has finished, but Juarez was looking for a cut call on Arizona's jammer. In between turns 3 and 4, there was a cut call that was assessed, but nobody actually left the track. And so they're just looking for some circling back on that.
Fair point. So we'll see. There's some conversation here among our team. We got Colonel Inglis with the official view, and Punky, our experienced jammer / pivot / blocker / everything, knows some insights from these two.
Yeah, I definitely noticed the moment that they were talking about, or that they're reviewing currently, and was confused as a spectator. So, it makes sense at this point. 2 minutes left in the half, might as well.
Right, and it's a close game. I mean, this is just 12 points. That's a jam.
Yeah.
You can easily, and jammers on both these teams could easily get there in one jam. So it looks like they retained. Oh, nope. JK.
All right, but we have Gail Satan enjoying a Brick Road Coffee Power Jam. For this jam, already made it almost across the whole track, but still haven't picked up lead. But there's some offensive help from Anna Rose, and that is lead jammer for Gail Satan of Arizona Rising. And it appeared that Juarez did not retain their official review, as all of Arizona's skaters are on the track for this jam. But just as I say that, Ragin' Bajin is sent to the Lookout Publications penalty box, as well as Anna Rose, just as April Drenalina is about to be released from the penalty box. We'll see how Arizona decides to manage their time here. April Drenalina has been a pretty successful jammer this game, but they do have 2 in the penalty box as well. And that's April Drenalina's initial pass. And big hit to the inside. And Satan does decide to call it right as both of, 2 blockers out, 1 blocker in. So each team is going to start the next jam with 1 blocker sitting in our Lookout Publications penalty box.
Time ticking down. Looks like somebody's calling a timeout. Maybe the officials? Yes, an official timeout. Just under a minute left here in the first half. Score 37 Jaurez, 54 for Arizona Roller Derby. Brick Road Coffee was built to be a welcoming space where everyone can show up exactly as they are and feel like they belong. From drag brunches and community meetups to chill co-working and comfy creative space, Brick Road is a home base for connection, kindness, and community, serving great coffee while building community brick by brick. Please check them out, Brick Road Coffee. And thank you to all of our sponsors and all of our vendors. It's a little early on a Sunday morning, so we got a few of our vendors here. I know a couple more will be coming in later. Thanks to everybody here who made it for this first game of the day. Those of you watching on the chat, maybe it's a little later in the day. It might even be the afternoon where you are, but here on the west side, it is still the AM. Yeah, shout out from Sid to our officials who keeping track of that no lead for a minute and 50 seconds. Also, like, you know, how many laps were like the OPR who are on the very, very outside of the track. That's a distance, friends. That exactly, Colonel Laney is saying that's endurance work. It for real is. And we are so grateful that we have officials here that are doing that endurance work. Y hemos empezado jam número 21. Princess Leia tiene la estrella para Arizona Roller Derby. April Adrenalina para Juárez. Y es Princess Leia que ha salido primero. April Adrenalina está en la caja de penales. Todos que están en la caja se pusieron de pie a la misma vez. Era como un baile tan lindo. Princess Leia buscando puntos. April Adrenalina ha regresado a la pista y en ese momento se terminó el jam. 3 puntos en el cielo para Arizona Roller Derby. Y April Adrenalina estaba en la caja de penales 3 veces enseguida. Y en ese mismo momento, Arizona se recibió lead cada vez. So we're closing out this first half. April Adrenalina in the penalty box 3 times in the last 2 jams. So gonna go into the second half with 5 penalties. So taking a little break, gonna get that adrenaline that April Adrenalina has maybe a little leveled off to come back into the second half. So stick around. We'll be back about 2 minutes to go time, and we'll have some fascinating facts to share with you, I'm sure. So thanks for being with us. We'll see you again in a few.
They call it a sport, but we know better. It's a symphony of dedication, grit, and heart. Tuned to one another in a composition of chaos on a stage built for progress. Athlete-driven innovation from the first whistle to the final score. Every hit, every fall, every win, every loss, every team, every season, everybody. We've got you covered.
Tui Lion here, and I'm here to ask you if your helmet is cooked. Whether you're on the derby track or at the skate park, your helmet has one job: to protect you. So let's check out your helmet together and find out if it's still doing its job. Look for the following signs to determine if the EPS foam in your helmet has deteriorated. 1. Physical cracks or deformations. 2. Soft spots. 3. Discoloration. 4. Separation from the shell. 5. Age. Helmets should be replaced every 3 years depending upon usage, even if they appear to be in good condition. 6. Unusual odors. Let's move on to the outer shell and consider your previous impacts. If the helmet has been involved in a significant impact, the EPS foam could be compromised even if no visible damage is apparent. If the strap adjusters, clip, or straps are compromised, your helmet placement might be compromised if you take a fall. Last but not least, if your helmet doesn't fit you properly, it's not going to do its job when you need it most. Your helmet should sit about 1 finger width above your eyebrows and stay put when you're moving around or shaking your head. Visit 888.com to find out about our cutting-edge helmet technology and designs. The most certifications, the latest technology, the best fit. We've got you covered.
Hello, everyone.
The right helmet is super important to me because I'm a big fan of my brain and I want to protect it.
I'm gonna plug in the new deep cover helmet because it's amazing. That's the one helmet that I feel like I can adjust like perfectly and then I don't have to worry about it.
Your head, your noggin, it's your life. When I play, if I am thinking about the game and not thinking about what I'm wearing, I am on fire.
Our heads are so important, so I think it's really important to have a helmet that fits you. It just feels like nothing's on my head. I feel protected. It's definitely a great helmet. It feels like it was made for me.
This fits my head. I feel really safe in this. I can adjust it on the fly. It also comes in a lot of cool colors.
It feels very snug. I don't know, it's not like a tight helmet, it's like it really like a hug that just has so many fitting arrangements, like it changes everything.
It landed where it needed to land. It protected me at the back of my skull. I just never felt more safe than I did with the deep cover.
The smaller shell size means that my head is not 12 times bigger than it should be. It feels snug, it feels safe. When I tried it on, I was like, this is the greatest helmet of all time. I'm never taking it off.
I think 888 is doing an awesome job listening to the skaters.
They're listening to the athletes and they're listening to the things that make us feel safe.
right, just about 90 seconds till the second half of this game, starting day 3 of Cactus Cup. We have Arizona Roller Derby skating against Jaurez Roller Derby. Arizona currently has a lead with 57-37. And Bonita, tell us a little bit about the first half.
Yeah, we saw a lot of really excellent gameplay in the first half, resulting in this close low score after a full 30 minutes of play. High scoring jammer for Jaurez is April Drenalina with 25 total points. However, April Drenalina also has 5 total penalties from the first half. And if you know Derby like I know Derby, you know that means she's 2 penalties away from being asked to leave kindly and politely. However, result is still the same. You don't get to play anymore in this game. So I think they'll probably be watching her closely here in the second half. 4 of those were cut calls, and it looks like the other one was a improper procedure, so maybe didn't leave the track quite right on one of them. Illegal contact, Angus is telling me. So anyway, 5 penalties, regardless of what they are not what you want to see. So we'll see what happens in the second half here with her. And most successful jammers for Arizona, Slaya with 22, Satan with 14. Both teams fairly even on the penalties, 18 so far for Jaurez and 15 for Arizona. And gameplay has begun. Punky, what are we seeing out on the track?
All right, well, Lady Evil has picked up lead for Jaurez. Jaurez does have 1 blocker in the penalty box, but Princess Leia is able to pick through the now 2 blockers for Jaurez on the track as Lady Evil comes up for points and decides to call it off, holding Arizona scoreless. Able to pick up 1 point, but Jaurez does have 2 blockers sitting in the Lookout Publications penalty box to start the next jam.
Oh My Quad Skate Shop, the only shop in northern Arizona. Joya Destroya and Halloween have almost 20 years of skating experience, provide individualized customer service to find you exactly what you need to be safe on the track or on the street. If you're in the venue, go check them out. And if you're not, find them online at Oh My Quad. And that is Jaws Breaker, que ha salido primero. Tiene lead. Minerve tiene la estrella para Juárez. Y Nine se recibió un penal, so se va para la Lookout Publications caja de penales. Jaws Breaker se va para afuera, se encontró espacio, no había mucho, pero suficiente para ella y se agarró 4 puntos más, 8 en total ahí en jam número 2. Nine todavía está en la caja de penales, entonces eso sería un Brick Road Coffee Power Jam para empezar jam número 3.
All right, and we do have Kiwi wearing the star for Arizona Rising heading into this power jam. Team is set up for some offense, so we'll see how they execute this. Got a pretty fast-moving track all the way up through, and unfortunately that is going to be Kiwi picking up a high block penalty just as Nine is released from the penalty box and is on the track looking to complete that initial. And that is going to be lead in favor of Jaurez. We have all of our blockers on the track with Kiwi sitting in the box for Arizona. All right, and that is listens to instructions to call off that jam, keeping Kiwi in the box standing. So Jaurez will get the opportunity for a Brick Road Coffee Power start, but will likely just be for a few minutes or a few seconds.
Vamos a empezar jam número 4. Kiwi tiene la estrella, está de pie en la caja de penales. Beethoven tiene la estrella para Juárez. Beethoven intentando de salir de pack. Se llega ahí a squeezer con Anna Rose, Beethoven y Ragin Bajan. Y Beethoven se rompió esa pared de bloqueadores y está lead. Se pasó fácilmente para adentro. Hay 2 blockers en la caja de penales de Lookout Publications. Anna Rose se paró a Beethoven. Ahora Beethoven es Beethoven v. Beethoven. Y Beethoven ganó esa ronda con 4 puntos en el aire, 8 puntos para Juárez Roller Derby. So, estamos en 65 para Arizona Rising, 49 para Juárez All Stars.
All right, and our Lookout Publications penalty box is getting lots of love currently with 2 Arizona blockers, one blocker, 1 pivot, and 1 blocker for Juarez. This jam is off to a quick start with Lady Evil picking up lead, and Satan's still looking to complete that initial pass, but does appear to pick up a forearm penalty and is headed to the box, and we now have a Brick Road Coffee Power Jam. And just as Little Evil is coming around to score, Jaurez did switch out some blockers to the penalty box. Currently has 2 blockers sitting in there as Arizona loses blocker Zombie Cat. And that is also Squeezer heading to the Lookout Publications penalty box as Satan is released, now looking to complete that initial pass. All right. Ooh, and beautiful apex jump on the inside of the track, and that is going to be a call off by Jaurez. And that was their 3rd lead in a row. Doing a great job of closing that gap in points, picking up 8 more. Current score is 65 to Arizona Rising, 57 to Jaurez Roller Derby.
Vamos a empezar jam número 6. Axel tiene la estrella para Arizona Rising y Nine para Juárez. Los dos salieron, pues por mi punto de vista era a la misma vez, pero obviamente los oficiales se ven mejor que yo y dijeron que era Nine que salió primero y Nine se terminó el jam. That was such a quick jam. When I saw them come out of the pack, they really did look like they came out the same from this direction, but they're coming straight at us. The officials have a much better view and designated Nine as lead, and she called it off.
All right, we have Princess Leia jamming against Beethoven, and that is another lead for Juarez, finding an opening on the outside, and Princess Leia completes that initial pass as well, as Arizona sets to complete some D. Whew. And that is going to be a call off from the floor. 3-1 in favor of Jaurez. As we head, and that is 5th lead in a row.
So Juarez really using that halftime to their advantage, 60 to 66. That's quite a change from what we saw before. Arizona going to see what they can do to switch things back into their favor. So en ese momento, April Jonalina tiene la estrella para Juarez, Jaws Breaker para Arizona Rising. Y así es. Eso es el primer lead que han tenido Arizona Roller Derby en los últimos 6 jams. So first lead in the last 6 jams for Arizona. Vamos a ver un punto. Pero un punto ganado con mucha fuerza, like a battle to get that 1 point for Jaurez. But a shift here, so first lead in the last 6 jams. Pepper diciendo, dale, dale, Abril, dale, dale.
All right, and that's we see Lady Evil against Kiwi for this jam. Lady Evil does find a quick opening, picking up a lead as 2x4 is sent to the box for Arizona. Kiwi is still looking to complete that initial pass as Arizona sets for defense against Lady Evil, who finds an opening in that tripod and goes right through as Kiwi is now scoring eligible as well. Lots of commotion happening on the track. And there is a call off 4-0 in favor of Jaurez, and that is a lead change.
First lead change we've seen since the early minutes of this game. Arizona has had a lead since at least halfway through that first half. So 1 point now separate these 2 teams. Un punto entre los dos. El primer lead change que hemos visto a favor de Jaurez desde el primer parte del juego. Nine tiene la estrella para Jaurez y ha salido primero, tiene lead. Arizona con Axel. Axel tiene la estrella en su mano. Axel buscando una manera de salir. Quizás pensando de pasar la estrella, pero no, y con eso se termina el jam. 4 puntos más para Jaurez. Un timeout al lado de Arizona. Arizona going to take this opportunity to do a little reset.
I feel like these last 12 minutes have gone so fast.
Agreed. Already 10 jams in 12 minutes. Well, less than 12 minutes, right? Like 11 minutes and 10 seconds. That is wild. Those are some quick jams. This timeout brought to you by Threads, Sweats, and Tears. More than jerseys, more than merch, built for community. This is Thread, Sweat, and Tears. Well, where culture, performance, and community are stitched together. Threads, Sweats, and Tears, also Derby owned. That is Murda's business, and Murda provided us with some fantastic cooling towels. Thank you, Murda and Threads, Sweat, and Tears. We definitely need them this weekend with temperatures over 100 degrees in the valley. So we are about ready to start. Jam número 11 ha empezado. Beethoven tiene la estrella para Jaurez. Gail Satan para Arizona. Gail Satan estaba empujado de afuera. Tiene que regresar y empezar de nuevo. Beethoven ha salido del pack. Tiene lead otra vez. Estos son 3 leads enseguida.
All right, we are back heading into our next jam. I see Princess Leia wearing the star for Arizona Rising. And it looks like April Janelina for Jaurez.
Just taking a quick moment to make sure the track is nice and refreshed. So we're just about ready to get things going. So just doing a quick check on the penalties. They are exactly even, 25 for each team. April Janelina still sitting on 5. Arizona now also a couple blockers with 5. That's Sunny Ono who has 5, and so does Squeezer. So everybody else on the Arizona side with one or two, and then looking over at Jaurez, 1 or 2 for quite a few of them, and then just one that has 4. So Janit sitting on 4. 18 minutes left in the game. So estamos casi listos para empezar de nuevo. Todos allí en la pista esperando. Hay un bloqueador de Arizona en la caja de penales. Así, con ese sonido sabemos que vamos a empezar. And allí vamos. April Janelina tiene la trepa Jaurez. Princess Leia para Arizona y April Janelina moviendo rápidamente, se va del pack y ya ha regresado para buscar los puntos. Solamente 8 puntos entre estos dos equipos. Cada punto significa mucho. Leia ha salido del pack. April Janelina con 4 puntos más, pero todavía no ha terminado el jam. Y en ese momento sí. So 4 puntos más para Jaurez, 0 para Arizona. Jaurez ha tenido lead los últimos 4 jams de este juego. So that's 4 leads in a row for Jaurez as we go into jam number 13. And those 4 leads have resulted in 0 points for Arizona.
All right, we have Jaws Breaker wearing the star for Arizona Rising, jamming against Lady Evil for Jaurez. And Lady Evil finds that opening on the outside, picking up lead as Jaws is still fighting through the last few blockers. Jaurez doing a great job of reforming, and that is going to be one of Juarez blockers picking up a multiplayer penalty as Lady Evil calls off the jam once again, holding Arizona scoreless and picking up 3 in favor of Jaurez.
So second half has been all Jaurez so far. We still have 16 minutes left in the game. Again, it's staying close, so anything could change. When we look back at our first half of the game, Arizona had 14 leads and Jaurez had 7. But now as we are going into the second half, Arizona has had lead twice and Jaurez has had lead 12 times. So Nine tiene lead 12 veces en la segunda mitad. Juárez ha tenido lead. En la primera mitad habían 7 líderes para Juárez y 14 para Arizona, pero aquí en la segunda mitad son 12 para Juárez y 2 para Arizona. Y se terminó el jam, 2 puntos para Juárez, 15 minutos más. 84 a 67, 84 to 67 in favor of Jaurez. Arizona still keeping it close. Jaurez not getting out for any multi-pass jams. But Arizona's been scoreless the last 6 jams, Punky.
All right, well, we're going to see if Satan can change that momentum up a little bit, but Beethoven is getting some good momentum at the top of the pack. Arizona does lose blocker ammunition to the box, and that is going to be lead for Jaurez. Satan, 2 to beat, now completed their initial, and Beethoven is coming up to score some points. Arizona looking to see if they can reform together. And that is going to be another call-off, holding Arizona scoreless. Jaurez picking up 3 more points. Now 87-67, 20-point differential now in favor of Jaurez.
All right, we are just about ready. The score is currently 87-67. 87 a 67. April Drenalina tiene la 3 para Jaurez. Axel para Arizona. Los dos equipos tienen un blocker en la caja de penales. Jaurez ha ganado 27 puntos en los últimos 7 jams y en ese mismo tiempo Arizona no ha ganado ningún punto. So, Axel va a cambiar eso con 4 puntos en el cielo. Hemos tenido un paso de la estrella. Janet ahora está jammer para Jaurez. Arizona had 7 scoreless jams in a row, so that has now changed. Todo el mundo ahí en turno 3 y creo que Axel se cayó y en ese momento se terminó el jam. So 4 puntos para Arizona, 5 puntos para Arizona, 0 para Jaurez, 87 a 72, 87-72 after 5 points going up on the board for Arizona. Jaurez taking a team timeout. Maybe we were going to see we may still see a shift in momentum, but after having so many leads in a row, then Arizona gets one and Jaurez calls a timeout. Strategy, right?
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense on their part, and we'll see if Arizona can take this time to make a plan for the next pack or next jam and keep that going.
Derby Girl Designs began the same way most great skate stories do, on skates. A lifelong roller skater who has always believed that skating is more than a sport. It's community, identity, freedom, and a place where people of all ages and backgrounds feel at home. Visit DerbyGirlDesigns.com and save 15% with coupon code Cactus Cup. So check out our sponsor, Derby Girl Designs. Loving the shout outs for the AV team. You know they work hard for no money.
All right, and that we have Princess Leia jamming against Lady Evil heading into Jam 17. Lady Evil really struggling to get momentum as Princess Leia is just hit to the inside, but that is going to be Leia with a lead just a few paces ahead of Lady Evil, and ultimately decides to call off the jam, the too close of a distance.
We do have a couple of skaters in some penalty trouble with Mala on 6 and Squeezer on 6. Jam número 18 ha empezado. Jaurez Breaker tiene la estrella para Arizona y Ninerfe para Juárez. Jaurez está en el punto más arriba, empujando ahí con Mala. Y Jaurez ha salido primero, tiene lead. Nine casi salió del pack, pero era empujado por afuera por la fuerza de Ana Rose y Raging Bajan. Jaurez Breaker está en un paso de puntos. Nine todavía intentando de salir por la primera vez. Llegando allí para ayudar es Jess. 3 líderes enseguida para Arizona. Aquí con casi 10 minutos que se quedan en el juego. Nine estaba empujado para afuera. Tiene que regresar y intentar de nuevo para salir. Y acuérdense que eso es su primer paso. Un golpe fuerte de Raging Bajan y Nine está adentro de la pista intentando de salir otra vez. Y muy bien hecho los bloqueadores de Juárez que no han permitido que Jaurez sale del pack. Y de verdad no vi cuánto tiempo duró todo eso, pero me parece que era mucho que Jaurez estaba empujando en esa pared de Juárez. 4 puntos para Arizona. That was a long time that Jaurez was trying to get out of that pack to get around to make a second scoring pass, but the blockers from Juarez were not having it. They're like, all right, you're going to get 4, but that's it.
Absolutely. And Beethoven out here is really trying to break up this momentum, but we have Zombie Cat and Ammunition trying to slow that down. Ammunition does pick up a penalty, and Kiwi has a star in hand, looking to complete a pass. Temporarily touches the track, but she does pick it back up, and there is Beethoven. 4 more points up for Juarez. We do have 2 Juarez skaters headed to the Lookout Publications penalty box. So hopefully Arizona can take advantage of the pack advantage that they have currently. Just as Ammunition returns to the track, 2x4 is sent to the penalty box along with Tropical Punch for Juarez. Lookout Publications penalty box is getting lots of attention this jam. All right, and that is going to be a call. Juarez is calling an official review, so we'll report back on what that is. All right, so Juarez is seeking an illegal procedure call due to the jammer star pass that happened in the last jam. So they're saying that the pass happened to the pivot dropped it, but then the jammer put it back on, which was
is not allowable if that's what happened. So the refs will deliberate.
I see. So perhaps for the Arizona side, they thought that the pivot didn't actually have it, maybe?
Yeah.
But Jaurez is saying, no, they definitely had it. So this will be interesting, I think. I'm glad I'm not a decider on this. We have officials who officially know all the most official things. Angus confirming that it is not a fun position to be in. But they're a team, too. That's a nice thing, too, right? It's not one person who's going to say. They're going to all talk about it.
All right, well, we have 2 jammers on this track for the next jam, so looks like Jaurez does not retain their official review, and the no call stands.
Oh, no. Stop. That was end of timeout. Yep.
Everybody's very, very excited to get back to the game. I mean, there's only 8 points left. This score is so close at 95-76. Todo el mundo está emocionado para empezar de nuevo. Pero con todas las risas dicen que, well, eso se pasa. Regresaron para empezar de nuevo. April Adrenalina tiene la 3 para Jaurez. Gail Satan para Arizona, y es Satan que ha salido primero. Acuérdense que hay 2 bloqueadores de Jaurez en la caja de penales. April Adrenalina ha salido. Janit allí dejando a Satan. Satan terminó el jam, pero no antes que Jaurez ganó 2 puntos. So a 4-2 jam in favor of Arizona. April Adrenalina able to get out of that pack very quickly and back around to pick up those 2 points before the call off.
We have 17 points separating our 2 teams. Just over 7 minutes left in this game. Axel wearing the star for Arizona Rising, and that's Lady Evil for Jaurez picking up lead. Arizona looking to offer some offensive help as Lady Evil comes up to score some points. And ultimately unsuccessful as Lady Evil is able to get 4. And we do have a successful star pass to Zombie Cat. So Zombie Cat is now the jammer for Arizona Rising, as Lady Evil is able to just bust through Arizona's wall. Zombie Cat still working to complete Arizona's initial pass. Got a very quick moving pack there, and Zombie Cat finally finds an opening on the inside. And that is going to be a call off by Lady Evil, and 12 points up for Jaurez.
That's the highest scoring jam here in the second half, breaking that century mark, score 109-80. So 109 para Jaurez, 80 para Arizona, 12 puntos. Estos son los más que ha ganado un jammer aquí en la segunda mitad del juego. Se quedan un poco menos de 6 minutos. Estamos empezando jam número 22. Princess Leia tiene la 3 para Arizona. Ninerfe para Jaurez. Todo el mundo en el chat apoyando a Jaurez. Los 2 jammers están afuera del pack y Nine se terminó el jam, so 0-0. Bip in the chat pointing out that this round robin has been wild, and I absolutely agree. We were talking about this amongst ourselves before the game. Wasatch and Treasure Valley like struggled with Wasatch and Arizona, but Treasure Valley lost to Juarez by a good margin and then beat Rising by a decent margin. So, yeah, it's kind of a trippy matchup.
And this Jam 23 is off to a tight start. Jaws Breaker wearing the star for Arizona Rising and Beethoven for Juarez, both looking to complete that initial pass and pick up a lead for their teams. Defense doing a great job of staying connected and slowing down. Jaws, unfortunately, getting the drawback, but Zombie Cat doing a great job of protecting how far they can pull Jaws back, as Arizona's tripod is just doing a great job of really slowing things down, and Beethoven is working hard to find some momentum. We are a minute into this jam with no lead jammer, and as I say that, Beethoven is able to secure lead. Jaws does have the star in hand at this point, still looking for some support from her teammates, and there's the handoff to Zombie Cat as Arizona is looking to wall up and complete that defense against Beethoven. There's a hit to the inside by Ammunitia, who was also then hit to the inside, but does not see, or Beethoven does not see the teammates hit, so plays it safe, goes all the way behind the pack to re-enter. Just 5 seconds left in this jam. Gonna reach its natural 2-minute conclusion. And that's gonna be 2 minutes for 4 points. Oof.
Yeah, it's been quite a game so far. The predictor had Juarez winning this game 190 to 110. We're certainly not going to hit that by any means. There won't be an 80-point differential in this game. We don't know what's going to happen. There's still a lot of time. Not a lot of time, but there's still time left. Cosas sí se pueden cambiar. Pero April Adrenalina va a hacer todo lo que se puede para no hay ningún cambio. Y ya se fue y se va. April Adrenalina tiene lead, pero Kiwi también ha salido del pack. April Adrenalina regresando, buscando los puntos. Kiwi también llegando, pero creo que no llegó con tiempo para puntos y los oficiales están de acuerdo. Son 2 puntos para April Adrenalina y 0 para Kiwi. A quick 2-0 jam in favor of Juarez.
All right, and we have just under 90 seconds on the game clock. Arizona does have 1 blocker, Anna Rose, sitting in the penalty box, Lookout Publications penalty box, as Lady Evil is wearing the star for Juarez, picking up a quick lead, while Gail Satan wears the star for Arizona. There is some penalties being assessed to Juarez, as Satan still looking to complete that initial pass, as well as a jammer penalty. So we're going to have 2 minutes here. All right. Anna Rose coming to offer some offensive help as Satan comes to complete next scoring pass, and that's going to be 4 up for Arizona. Both jammer and blocker for Juarez standing in the box, and there is Lady Evil released, coming out with speed. And blocker's doing a great job of offering that offensive help to get through that pack. All right, and we have no lead in this jam, so this is gonna run the 2 minutes. Our period clock is out. And Satan looking to re-enter the track, trying to make sure that they are playing it safe. And that's going to be another lap for both teams. We've got 15 seconds left on this clock. See what happens. Arizona's blockers doing a good job of slowing down Lady Evil. I'm hearing we're losing number 1 on Jaurez to the penalty box, but that is the time clock. It's going to be a 14-7 jam in favor of Arizona, but ultimately Jaurez wins this game. 122-95 is our current unofficial score. We're going to take a few moments to there's our roll-in whistle. And we're going to take a few minutes to deliberate about our MVPs for this game.